Hi, girly.
Hi, girly.
I'm Eliana,
And I'm Derek.
and this is,
Episode 12
yes, of the book club for
for
the
the girlies.
girlies. On today's episode of For the Girlies, we're going to be chatting about Not in Love
By
by,
Allie Hazelwood.
yes, she's super popular on the TikToks
I
and on the
saw.
YouTubes.
Well, before we get into the book, please remember to like, comment, and share this video with your friends and
And
family.
subscribe.
And most definitely subscribe. Yes.
Be
And make sure you're
sure.
hitting that notification bell so you know when we're posting. And also,
Please make sure that you are being kind to this author, that you are being kind to each other in the comments, that you are being kind to us in the comments.
mhm,
And before we get started, you guys, spoiler alert.
yes.
We're going to be talking about this book. We're not going to talk about everything, but there will be some spoilers. So please put the volume on low
Oh, well.
if you're spoiler averse, because we would really appreciate the view. And we love having you here at this meeting.
Right.
Yeah, so with that being said, let's get into it.
Let's go. Okay, so just a brief synopsis about this story.
Hmm.
Um, jump in and jump out as you see fit.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a story about
Two science nerds.
yes, it was like, how do I describe them?
Yeah.
Two science nerds, right? One is quite literally a scientist, um, and they kind of have like a almost hookup. And then the next day at work, she finds out that he is a part of a company that is buying the company that she works for, and that is also owned by one of her closest friends.
Yeah, so they're two science nerds. They like each other, but they don't know how to navigate that. Plus, the business and sciencey things come in, and it makes it a little, what do you
Topsy
call it?
turvy.
Yeah, I mean, it brings in some extra drama
Yeah.
in there. And then there's also the way that their personalities are set up. Specifically, Rue's personality is
hmm
makes for a quite interesting tale.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, would you say that this was a long read or a short read?
Okay, I do think in theory that this could be a short read for me.
Hmm.
However, for me, it was a little longer for me to get through
Hmm.
because I was listening to it.
Hmm.
I started off listening to this book, and no shade to people who are doing their craft, like get your bag, get your money, do your art. The male actor who did the voice on the Audible really killed it for me. I'm sorry. It was really like, dare I say cringy. Like I couldn't it was really hard for me to get into this book, so it made it a very like difficult read for me.
Okay. For me, I would say it felt like a long read, but I was happy for it because I felt like it was thorough.
Hmm.
Sometimes I want my books to be longer because I want to stay in that world as long as possible.
Mm.
Yeah, but this one I felt like the author did a good job with dealing with the different plot lines that were happening in the book. So she didn't sacrifice the business science drama for the love
Hmm.
stuff, and like the love stuff wasn't sacrificed for the business science stuff. So I appreciated that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, moving right along.
To how the book is formatted.
Yes.
It's in both Eli and Rue's points of view, and it's all in present day.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I liked that it would like we said this a couple books ago. It wasn't like the same day, the next day, it'd be like a
mhm.
couple weeks later. I enjoyed that.
I enjoy that too. That's something to think about for other authors that we might be looking into.
Mm-hmm.
So, moving right along into our likes, dislikes, please share with the class. What are some likes you had about this novel?
Okay, so I love that we were reading about a woman in STEM.
Mm,
I love that. I've never read anything like that before. I was like, come on. And a man was like, drooling over this girl. So like,
Yeah.
because we could be smart and beautiful, okay? I also really liked that Miss Rue was unapologetically herself.
Yeah.
You kind of touched on that, but the way that people would talk about her,
Mhm.
they'd be like, "Oh, she's frosty, she's cold, like Rue." You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, and she was like, "And that's me."
Yeah. I liked that Rue was so different, and she
Yeah.
even felt closed off to the reader, and
Mhm.
I liked that because,
It was different.
yeah, that's really what it was, is that I had a different experience.
Also, love that she was a fierce best friend herself. Like she was ride or die.
Mhm.
And I know we talk about being ride or die, and like sometimes you don't want to die.
No.
Rue was willing to die. She had done some crazy things
She
uh,
had.
for her friends, and I love that. And she was also willing to like sacrifice this like potentially big love for a friend. She wouldn't
Which
see it through.
I thought it was really funny that they described her as that when it came to her friends and the boyfriends and stuff like that, because, like I've said, she was different. She even felt closed off to the reader.
Hmm.
And it's not at all that Rue was incapable of emotions, it was that she was incapable of those emotions being for anything and
Everybody.
everybody, which is funny because in our previous episode we talked about how the main character was so dramatic
Hmm.
and everything hit her.
Yeah.
Rue, that wasn't that wasn't her vibe, and I liked that.
Yeah.
I especially liked the fact that, like, she could go there, but if she felt like it was necessary to
Necessary to
go
go there.
there.
Agreed.
So I also liked that Eli accepted her and liked her, and it wasn't just as a conquest to make her love him,
Mm.
but it was more of her as a human being. I think to me, what it read as was, oh, she's a little different. I dig it.
Hmm.
That's what I took it as. And his thoughts seemed to revolve more around her needs than his own needs.
Yeah.
It was like, how can I make her laugh, not because I want something out of her or like I think I'm so special in her life, but more of like, you just interest me so much. I'd
I
love
dig you.
to see, yeah, I'd love to see you laugh. I'd love to know what makes you tick.
Yeah.
So,
Um, just following up on that, I wrote that I loved how like into her he was, and I was like,
mhm.
are men like that for real?
I hope so.
Do y'all be acting like that for real?
I hope so.
Cause we're
Because what are all these girlies getting married for if they're not into them?
like this. I need to have conversations
Yeah.
because this was crazy. I was like, brother, chill.
Or don't.
Wait, right. Don't chill. But I was also like, oh my
That
god,
also
like,
goes into what I was saying about how Rue's not emotionless. She can have big emotions, and like
yeah.
he he went along with that too, but it was like in certain situations. So she obviously had big emotions for him,
Hmm.
but it was within that context, not just any old man was she having big emotions for. So I thought that was cute of them,
Yeah.
that they were so
Um.
passionate about each other specifically.
Right. Very true.
Yeah.
Um. I wrote that I liked the backstories, their backstories, as traumatic as they were,
Mhm.
in their own respective ways.
Mhm.
I did enjoy reading that part of the story. I'd like a little, I don't know, like I enjoy that kind of like character development, and
Mhm.
I'd like a little more of that. I think. Um, Also,
Hmm.
I feel like we really like dropped the ball on this, Miss Hazelwood. What's your email so we could talk? I'm very invested in the love story of his friends. They were married previously. I was
Yeah.
like, hold up, can we run that back? What do you
They were married?
mean? They were together.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
together. Yeah, I think I have that somewhere in my notes, something about Hark and all of that.
What's the tea? I'd really like to know. Um, Also love the relationship between Eli and Maya. It reminded me of our episode on Happy Place. Go watch it if you haven't. When we talked about how the way someone loves you might not be the way that you want to be loved,
Mhm.
but they're loving you the best way they know how. And I was
Mhm.
like, Maya, your brother loves you a lot, girl.
No. Yeah.
And I know that she, whatever, she might have gave him a whole hard time. She would like give him a hard time about stuff, but it's like, girl, he love you down.
Yeah. I agree. So I also liked the friends a lot. Manami, Soul. I don't know how to say his name.
Soul,
Soul,
I think.
Soul, and Hark. I really liked them. I thought they were a really interesting dynamic. Um, I agree. I thought it was weird the whole Hark and Soul thing going on there. I don't know. I don't know how Hark
Does it?
does that, and for what reason.
What's the tea? I want to know
It's
what
been
happened.
years also, and you haven't gotten over this. Go to therapy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And also Maya. One Maya to the next. Girl, I see you. I was like, she just like me for real.
You're wild for that.
She was like, so what's up with Heart? He was like, nothing, girl. I'm like, but what is up with him?
I love the fact that he was so uncomfortable
Yeah, he's
by
like,
it.
please shut up.
Yeah. I think I was just thinking of it being like on a screen somewhere, and it would actually be really funny for this. For me, in my head, he looked like a big burly man, and
Mm,
for him to be afraid of this, like, smaller woman
always.
because she's like so much younger and she's into him, and he's like, no,
Please
please.
leave me alone. She's like,
I'm
no.
uncomfortable. Um,
So science.
I
Yeah.
liked that both Eli and Rue used sciencey language in their inner monologue. I was looking up
Nerds.
words
Okay.
because I didn't know what they were talking about. I could infer what they were talking about, but I'd rather know for sure than
Mm-hmm.
infer what they're talking about. Um, so yeah, I thought that was really true to the characters and funny
Yeah.
that that's how they're thinking about their interactions with each other is in science terms.
Oh, freaky nerds. um, what about dyslexia? Or
Okay,
do you have more likes?
no,
Okay.
I going into the dislikes, Nyota and Tisha, their bickering could have been scrapped, in my
Mm,
opinion. I don't think it was necessary. So, for example, you said you wanted more of their past their pasts in the book. I
hmm.
think that could have been swapped for Nyota and Tisha bickering. I didn't it didn't bring anything to the story in my view.
Yeah.
And then
Sisters be fine.
yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't and like the one-liners, I was like, it's not really making me laugh. So, it's fine. Um, I didn't like the fact that Rue kept second guessing her instincts when it came to Florence. So right at the beginning of the book, she says everything that she said was a lie from that speech that she gave.
Yeah.
And we didn't address that in the book either. The fact that Rue knew that she was lying, but she never believed her own eyes, and she never
Mm,
even confronted the woman ever.
yeah.
And she never told
Right.
Tisha. How did you never tell Tisha?
What was the tea, bro?
Rue was ruminating. That was the tea. She was
I
ruminating.
thought that was very odd as well. I was like, we're never gonna. Okay,
Right, we're just
cool.
gonna gloss over the fact that you in your head said everything you just said
Oh,
was a lie.
lie. You're lying. So, as I said before, I was listening to this book, and the male actor really lost me, like from the get go. And there was also something up with my Audible. So I was using audiobooks.com, and on audiobooks.com you can't change the speed of the reading, which was driving me crazy. So it was like slow and weird. Like he was
No.
I'm not even gonna do it. But it was like weird, growly and burly. I didn't like it. So it for me, I didn't get the connection. Like I totally lost it. I was like, wait, why is he so crazy about her so fast? What did I miss? Like, I was, and I think it's because I was distracted. Um,
Probably.
it just seemed so instant to me, which like we've seen in other books. Like I'm used to like boom and like I love her, and I'm like, all right, whatever, y'all be tweaking.
Which is funny because for you it felt like it was instant, but for me reading it, it didn't feel like it was instant. It felt like, okay, yeah, they both knew that this was
Something.
something, but I don't think either of them acknowledged what it was until
No,
much later.
yeah, no, no,
I don't think either of them was like, oh, you're it for me,
correct.
which I
So
feel other books do
it
that.
wasn't like yeah, for real. This book for me though, it was more of like he just like he wanted her so bad, and I'm like, again, I don't know that I've ever felt like that about anyone. Like seeing someone and that's like all I was thinking about. Like that's like again from my point of view, that was
Hmm.
it. He was like that's all he could think about. I'm like,
I
you
also
have a job.
I also thought of it from the perspective of if it's two people who only, oh, okay, so this is part of the synopsis of the book is that the way that they meet is because they're both on a dating app, but it is purely for physical purposes and nothing else.
Yeah.
So I was also thinking of it from that perspective that
Mm,
he didn't
he
get
didn't get to
what,
get what he wanted.
yeah, and like
Okay.
and just the fact that he did get to interact with her that first time,
Hmm.
I think is what had him hooked because she was strange from the beginning.
For sure. And he was hooked. He was
Yeah,
like, "Oh, I like that,"
yeah,
and I was like, "Her being weird? Like, what did I miss?"
yeah.
Um, yeah, I just wrote that. I wrote it just didn't give me that oomph. I was like, I missed it. So I really do. I'll say it later.
Okay.
Okay.
My other dislike, and this is my last one, was
Mhm.
that them being together happened a little too late for me in the book for my taste.
Mm,
Or maybe like we needed more of them being together.
yeah.
That's it.
Okay. It was a slow burn.
It was, and I
It
was okay with it. It was just once we got to the end and then they were together, it's almost like I wanted to know how they navigated that.
gotcha. So we're moving on to ratings. And as you may know, we do not rate things on like a 1 to 5 stars or a 1 to 10 kind of a scale because that's boring.
Yeah, so we rate things on a scale of
WTF
WTF
is
was
that?
that? Interesting, but wouldn't read again.
It
It
was
was
good.
good, would read
Loved,
again.
would read again.
And how will I ever go on? How
So,
would you rate this one?
so I'm gonna say for right now, it was good. I definitely think this is a book that I have to read again. I have to like physically sit down and read it. But it has to be some time from now because when I went to read it after I was like I can't listen to this anymore. Um, and I went to actually read the book. He was already in my head, and it had ruined it for me.
Mm.
So I need to forget what this book is about and then revisit it down the line and give her a fair chance.
Give her
But
a fair
but right
chance.
now it was good.
I also rated it as it was good. I don't need to read it again.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think I would like to see more of how they navigated the relationship because I'm interested in Rue.
Hmm.
But that was it. I don't need to go through it all over again.
Okay.
Next up is our quiz segment, and I'm going to be quizzing Derek. How do you feel? You don't look excited.
Um.
Should we send you prayers? Thoughts and
Yes. Thoughts and
prayers.
prayers, please. Thoughts and prayers,
Send good vibes. Send all the love.
please.
Okay, so number one, who said the following? The potential for situational irony is a bit too high, even for me.
I don't get multiple
Yeah,
choice.
yeah, yeah. I was
Oh.
just letting you live with it.
Okay.
A is Eli, B is Rue, C is Minami, and D is Nyota.
One more time. Can you say the quote?
The potential for situational irony is a bit too high, even for me.
It's one of the friends, I feel like. Manami.
No,
Who said it?
it was Eli. This was like the first time that they ever met, and
Okay.
she was saying, "What if you're a serial killer?"
Mm.
Yeah, it was that whole exchange. Second question. Who said the following? I, for one, really appreciate the collaborative environment she's trying to foster. Is it A, Minami, B, Rue, C, Eli, or D, Tisha?
Tisha?
Nope.
Eli.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Eli.
And the third question is, who said this and to who? Although we both know that Florence is going to win, is it A, Rue to Tisha, or is it B, Tisha to Eli?
Tisha to Eli.
Yeah! Yeah. And then the last one
Oh my god.
is we went through it pretty fast though.
We did.
Who said the following and what was it about? I meant the part where you debuted your monastic endeavors. Is it A, Eli? Is it B, Hark? Is it C, Rue? Or is it D, Tisha? And the what was it about is more of like a extra credit. You want me to say the quote again?
Mm-hmm.
I meant the part where you debuted your monastic endeavors.
Hark?
Yeah. Do you remember what it was about?
No.
It was about him not caring for the two racquetball players, about Eli. He didn't
Okay.
care, and Hark was not a ladies' man type, and Eli was. So the fact that he didn't care about the racquetball players was, whoa.
Like, okay.
See you.
So I got a 3 out of 4. I got a 3 out of 4.
Why do you do this? Just accept your fate.
Okay, moving right along to our tearjerkers or meaningful quotes segment. Do you want to start this off, E?
Sure. So nothing made me cry.
No.
But my first important quote I thought was, "Do you have to go through with it for it to be cheating?" And it's Eli
Mm.
talking about what would have happened if he married Mackenzie.
Mm-hmm.
I personally don't think it's cheating, but it is a form of betrayal that I don't think that I'd be heartbroken from. And I don't know that I'd be able to recover
Remind
from
me of the
that.
context. I remember him saying that.
It was him basically saying that, like, if I married her, I would have met you anyway. And then what was going to happen?
Right.
Like, even if I just thought
Thought
about
about it.
this, which in the way that he was thinking about it, it was
For
constant.
sure cheating.
Um, I don't technically to me that's not cheating, but if I was on the other end of that, I don't want to be like second string to someone like that.
Yeah,
That's not cool. I'd be heartbroken over that, and
for sure.
I wouldn't get over that. So
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was that moment right there. I said, "Ooh, well, thank God you weren't married if this is how you feel, and like you know that you didn't feel this way about Mackenzie and you were going to marry her."
Yeah.
So my other quote is, I have four.
Okay.
It's because with you I never have to worry about being too odd, too unlikable, too out of tune. You never make me feel anything other than just right. And it's Rue
Hmm.
talking to herself when Eli pries about her previous dating life. And it made me happy to hear that she'd found that in someone, and that even though she wasn't fully aware, he loved that about her.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a cutesy little
It was cutesy.
moment for her.
I do have one that's more of a tearjerker related.
Mhm.
I didn't tear, but it did pull at my heartstrings.
Mhm.
This is when, so they had this bit that they did where they would like say these like naked truths to each other.
We're
Um,
bringing it back to it ends with us.
oh,
You said
I
naked
said naked
truths.
truth. This is very true. But they would just like tell each other something like a truth about themselves that was like crazy,
Yeah.
something they never told anyone else, like their deepest darkest secrets type vibes. Um, and Rue was telling him about when Tisha's family got a dog when they were kids,
Mm.
and how she felt about this dog. She was like jealous of the dog, and she says, "Why not me?" Like she was feeling. This is how she felt. She felt like, "Why not me?" Over and over until it felt like a cancer. Um, in every interaction I had with Tisha, and it made me really sad. I was like, oh, it made my heart pull for like the little kid in her that like,
Yeah.
you know, like this kid. She was like, this dog is getting like fed 3 times a day. Like this dog he gets to be with their family all like. He was living her dream. Like that's all she wanted to do was be with them all the time. And
And
like,
it was all for a dog.
like really? Like
I
why not me? Like,
could have taken me in.
right, y'all wanna
Shoot.
adopt something. You see me over here struggling. But
Mm.
okay. A dog, a chihuahua at that? It ain't even a big dog.
Yeah, that's awful.
Y'all chose I would never let you forget that. You chose a chihuahua over me?
Chihuahua slander is admitted at this book club. Another quote that I had was, "Ask me for anything," he thought, "anything at all, and watch me give it to you. Whoever came before me, they had no idea. I'm up for the challenge." And this was Eli's internal monologue.
Mm-hmm.
Really tugged on my
I remember
heartstrings.
this. I was like, oh, I think this is when I was like, what? This how y'all
Ask me
out
for
here act?
anything?
Anything? Anybody who came before me?
Anything at all, watch me give it to you. Okay.
Mama, I gotta go.
He said anything
That's
at
my
all.
husband, all right?
Honestly.
She says, there was something white knighty about him. Observant. He cares. He really does care about doing the right thing. And I thought that was really cute, but I was also like, it is something, because again, what I was hearing. And I was like, I don't get it, babe. Like, how are we here? I was like, at least she's getting it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was going to be what it was going to be. But I was also like, it is something very, like, why are you doing this?
For me, it called back to when in the beginning of the book he said that he knew he was being more, I don't know what the word is, but he basically was saying that he was being aggressive or possessive or protective, and that wasn't how he typically was. So,
That's what they all say.
well, I believed it from him, actually.
I never act like this. I don't believe you.
I believed
You're
I
too good at this.
I believed it from him that he and he kind of says it too with Maya that he was like the only way that I could take care of her, protect her was by being overprotective and was
Mm-hmm.
by stopping her from doing things. So I took that as like those are the only two people that he's ever done that to in his life, and it's because he really
Because he
cares.
cares. Yeah.
So there was that. Oh, my last quote was, and that's not Florence. Having it hard doesn't give us a pass to cheat other people out of their work, especially not to screw over people who have it harder. Mm. I was so proud of Rue for finally standing up to
Yeah.
Florence, and it's crazy. Some people are so unbelievably selfish and evil that they can't fathom that other people are not like that.
Mm, that was a whole word. Yes.
Okay.
Because no, like it, that's it.
Yeah.
It doesn't even occur to them that other people wouldn't do the same thing.
And she was so fake nice and so fake, like, oh, I want to do the right thing for everyone. But then the moment that I think, Rue, I think, mentions doing something for the good of someone,
Mm.
it might have been, I don't know. She mentioned something. And Florence is like, well, you're gonna find nobody that's like that. I think she said like I don't want to be surrounded by people who only think of themselves, who would take advantage of other people. And Florence is like, well, you're not gonna find anybody like that. Excuse you? No, you're sick in the head. You're the one that's like that. It's not everybody else that's like that.
Yeah.
So good on Rue for finally listening to herself and standing up for herself and telling the truth because she was really good at telling the truth, but she was not telling Lawrence the truth
Yeah.
that whole time.
Oof.
Oh, I guess we can move along to
Yeah.
our superlatives. Any
Okay.
superlatives you want to share?
I do have one.
Okay.
I wrote the class crash out was Eli because he was ready. he was just he was crashing out over this girl like immediately. Um, he was ready to like kill her brother in the beginning. Like
He
I'm like,
really was.
bro, you don't even know my name. Like, why you acting like that?
Victor was weird though, and
For
I
sure,
would have loved to have someone like that next to me if
right?
Victor was being weird like
For
that.
sure, but I was also like, turn it down, bro.
A- And in the context of him being a hockey player, I was thinking, yeah, this makes
Always
sense.
on go. They're so aggressive.
That's why they're in that sport.
Yeah.
I had three superlatives.
Okay.
The first one was this is where it is, okay? Most likely to implode one day. Hark.
For sure.
Hark. Cause what are you talking about? Your ex is now married to some guy that's part of your business. Your day to day, you have to deal with the
The two
both
of
of
them.
them. Oi, oi, oi.
I would love a
A book about Hark?
Hark and Maya.
No, I don't want that at all. No. This laugh was crazy. I don't no, I don't want that. I like the dynamic that they have.
Mm.
No, I wouldn't like that. That would be ridiculous. The second one would be I'm so sorry, Soul, but it's a he would be a non MF factor. If anybody knows the quote from Evelyn Losada. Yep,
Ah,
but it's just because I don't know why he's there. He don't say much. He doesn't contribute much either. Or maybe I was confusing Soul and Hark as the same person. But to me, he didn't really contribute much other than just being there. And then my quiet favorite is Minami. I
mm,
thought she was great. At first, I was like, why are you so mean?
mm,
And then I recognized she's not mean. She's just doing her one, doing her job,
mhm.
and two, that was her tech anyway. And then in terms of like who you could relate to, did you have anybody you could relate to?
No.
Okay, so I actually have a quote for this. And it go this is Rue's internal dialogue. She says, I wish I and this is other people talking to her. I wish I was as cold as you. I love that you just don't care about stuff. I relate to Rue.
Mm,
People have said things like that to me that I don't care about stuff. That's not true. I just care about it differently than other people.
mhm.
So yeah, I relate to Rue. Don't be sad. It's just my reality.
Yeah.
People say it, and they also it's weird because you say I would love to be like you. You don't care about stuff. I don't think you recognize that that's offensive to say to
It
someone.
is.
Like, what am I supposed to do with that information?
I've had someone say that to me, like crying, like, I wish I could be like you and just like not care. And I was like, what?
What?
I'm sorry you're crying, but can you please expand on that? When have I ever given that impression? I'm
It
just,
it's almost like you're not part of the rest of the world
yeah, like,
because you don't care. Who told you I didn't
who
care?
said that?
Who said that?
Who said that?
Who said that?
Hey, moving right along to big screen or small screen.
Ooh, ooh. Okay, my thoughts. I could do a movie on streaming, like
Okay.
Netflix. I mean, if they wanted to, they could do like a two-parter where they draw out them figuring out what they're doing together.
Okay.
But yeah, and then I have like casting people too. But
Oh, I'm excited to hear that. I don't need it
mhm.
on big screen or small screen. Again, I gotta give her another read down the line. Check in with me. Somebody check in with me. in like January and be like, "Girl, did you read that book?" And then I'll see how I feel. I might feel differently about
Hey, we'll see. So for my casting,
it.
I have Simon Baker as Eli. I
Ooh, that's a fine man right there.
and then so Rue is a little difficult for me.
Okay.
You know why people like Rue are difficult? It's because they really focus on their hair. So they're dark, glossy curls, and all I think of is there is no white lady out there with dark, glossy curls. That just doesn't exist. If her hair is dark, it's typically just straight hair.
Mm.
But anyway, one of the people that I thought would be good at playing her would be Kristen Stewart because she plays robotic really well, but she's too short. And then I don't need it. Um, what?
I'm
No,
no comments.
no.
I
Be
have no
serious though. Is Kristen Stewart not good at robotic?
for sure. I'm
Like,
not arguing with you there.
and that was the
That was what
impression that Rue
the
was
gave
giving
you.
people.
Okay.
And then the other person that I thought would actually be good at playing her might be Phoebe Tonkin.
So
She, ooh, she's in the Vampire Diaries, but I don't think you watched up until then.
say a name, maybe.
Haley.
Oh, maybe.
I have I have Joy Bryant, but with the complexion of Gabrielle Union as Tisha. Like
She's
if I could,
she said Joy Bryan with a 10.
yes, that's what I think of Tisha would look like.
Okay.
And then selfishly, I want Brenda Song to be Minami,
That's all right.
and then I could see Chris Hemsworth as Hark, cause he's brawny and kind of stupid looking.
You can't say stuff like that.
Well, you know what they look like.
You can say that. It's fine.
Those like huge guys. Sometimes they look like
I
they don't
pick
got
things up and put
much.
them down.
Yeah, they look like they don't have much going on up there.
Yeah.
And that's the vibe that Chris Hemsworth gives me.
She said
I'm
y'all
sure
give
you're very smart,
said
Chris.
y'all here giving Lenny from Advice of Men.
Oh,
That
don't
was
do Lenny like that.
yeah, rest in peace to Big Man. That's
Yeah.
another spoiler alert if you've never watched Advice of Men or read Advice of Men.
Moving on to what did you learn? I learned that I want more characters that are out of left field, like Rue
Mm.
is. So I'm not just closed off and likes to brood kind of characters, but someone who is open to changing their ways, but because it's worth it to them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty I'm pretty sure if we
It's
weren't
real life.
yeah, I'm pretty sure if we weren't following Rue, the fictional character in this book, I'm pretty sure she would have found her way there anyway. It
Mm.
just needed to be something that she felt
Was worth
was,
it.
yeah, like even her being friends with Tisha, I think that was a big thing for her. It was
Yeah.
worth it for her to be friends with her. And even Florence as well, it was worth it for her. She was interested in the work that Florence was doing and the fact that Florence was who she was, supposedly someone who did things on her own. So there was that. And then the next thing that I learned was always stick to your truth and your version of the light, even if it bothers other people.
Mm.
There's nothing wrong with you for being different. And I think
Yeah.
Rue really exemplified that really well.
Yeah.
Even if she, of course, had her moments where she felt insecure. But I really loved the fact that she stayed true to herself and would simply remove herself from situations if she felt it was going to cause too much
Yeah.
drama for her or for other people. Hmm.
Agreed. So yeah, I did learn that. I did learn that like it's all right to be you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said it earlier, I really enjoyed that she was unapologetically herself.
Yeah, people will be drawn to you for whatever way that you that expression of you, they'll be drawn to you no matter
Mm-hmm.
what. Eli was obviously very drawn to her, and even his friends liked her. It's just she had a difficult time meshing with them.
Yeah.
And that's fine, girl. best at.
So, would you read more from this author?
Sure,
Yeah.
I'm open to it. I've heard that this book is different to her other books,
Same.
though.
So, did you read the author's note?
I didn't. Oh, yeah, in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that she go on because I think I read it, but
She says in the beginning that, like, this book isn't like her other books, that she knows that the characters are different and they don't really go with the vibe of previous stories.
hmm
And I thought that was good because I did see a lot of people on TikTok and Goodreads kind of saying that. And,
hmm
and then there would be the comment like, "Clearly, you didn't read her
yeah, the
little note."
author's note.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because she said everything that you're complaining about, she addressed before you even got into the book.
yeah, and I mean, this is the first time I've ever read any of her books, so
Hmm.
to me, it wasn't anything.
Out of the
Yeah,
normal, yeah.
I thought
I'm
it was.
interested to see.
Yeah, I thought this one was fine. And so, like you said, I'm interested to see what her typical books are like
Yeah.
because I think I read something that her other books are more fluffy.
This,
This one felt fluffy to you?
no, ma'am. This one felt fluffy to you?
No, I was just
Oh,
wondering.
okay.
I wanted clarity.
No.
This one didn't feel fluffy to me.
I was like, Lord?
But then I was kind of thinking, am I interested in those other ones? If the other ones are fluffy and this one isn't fluffy, do I want that? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
Let us know what other Allie Hazelwood books we should read. If you guys have any recommendations, we'd love to hear it.
right.
And other books in general.
Right. And I know that people love, like, I see people rate, like, oh, the spice level. I'm not someone who needs, like, all the spice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a, like, if it's moving the story, like, sure.
Yeah.
But it don't need to be, like,
Only spice.
yes. And I saw that they had, like, the chapters down for this. And I was like, yeah, it's a lot. Chill out, guys.
Some people that's what they read it for.
Yeah.
Just like you said, that's not what you read it
That's not what
for,
I read
but
it for, but I'm not judging you if that's what you read for.
yeah.
So if you like a bunch of spice, I say go ahead and give her a read.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So I think that is all
That's a wrap
for
on.
today's meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for watching.
Yes, and like we said earlier, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, hit that notification bell so you are notified when we post. Um,
Follow us on all of our socials. The
yes,
links will
ma'am.
be down in our description box. Stay tuned for our next episode because we are going to be reading Fourth Wing. And
Ooh,
the name of the author escapes me right now, but we've heard that this one is also popular on the
the TikTok.
TikToks.
Yes, this is also another fantasy.
Yeah,
Yeah. So to my girlies who love them some fantasy, tap in.
please.
All right.
And uh, that's all,
Yeah,
I
that's all,
think.
folks.
See you at the next meeting, girlies.
Bye,
Bye,
girlies.
girlies.